Hello, it's the Censored Gambino here, again, with a new fucking stream, if it works properly this fucking time. And this stream, I'm gonna be going over the event week for this week in Grand Theft Auto Online, again, if it works properly, cause, yeah, streaming wants to be a bitch all of a sudden. So apparently my Reddit Online stream, for whatever fucking random reason, decided I didn't want to process properly, so it took way longer than it usually fucking does. My god, it didn't take about a fucking week like it has one fucking time. Had something before I didn't want to process for like a fucking week just to fucking about for this stupid PS4 streaming bullshit. But hopefully this one fucking works well. So yeah, I did not actually do my Reddit Online stream today. It might look like I did, but I did not. It just processed later than it usually does for no apparent fucking reason. Besides for the PS4 stream is a broken fucking mess sometimes. But yeah, anyways, going to the title, there's 2 times money. At least money, but it sounds like RP as well. But I decided to just put money because I was running out of characters in the title and describe what I was mentioning. But yeah, there's at least 2 times money on Smuggler's Run cell missions. However, I put it as Hanger because I ran out of characters to really describe it. But yeah, that's not really the main thing I would say that's going on for this event week. I would say the main thing for this event week is going to be the GTA $1 million reward for doing 10 daily objectives. So yeah, there's a really easy GTA $1 million you can make for this event week, which is quite nice. And you just simply do 10 daily objectives. So you have to do a couple days, you'll have to do at least 2 daily objectives, though for the most part you'll be completely fine doing 1 at minimum. And keep in mind, in this game there's only 3 daily objectives per day. So at least about half of the event week you'll have to do like 2 at minimum. However, unlike with Reddit Online, I don't feel there's very much to talk about when it comes to the daily objectives, so I'll kind of keep it brief, or at least I'm expecting to. And then there's also 3 times money RP on Celica versus modes, and then I'll be going to the rest, of course, but yeah, it's on the newswire. I just do these streams, of course, because it's kind of a tradition on the channel, so whether I do it late or not, I do still cover them. If you don't like it, it's too bad, because that's kind of the main thing I do on this channel, to be honest. It's always kind of has been. Yeah, so far this one's working way longer than the fucking previous one. I decided to be a little bitch.
Come check out the new vehicle on the podium. You can win it with just a spin on the lucky wheel.
So yeah, podium vehicle for the week's in Ponte Deluxo. Probably one of the most valuable, if not like the most valuable vehicle they've ever put on the podium, to be honest. We've done ones like the Stromberg and shit before. I think even the original Oppressor they might have done. So yeah, in terms of value, this is one of the best like podium vehicles they've ever done so far. But yeah, I got 2,500 RP, which is apparently more RP than like, which is more RP than you get from the fucking 10 daily objective thing that's going on right now. Go into a tiny bit more detail with that later, of course. So yeah, I'll go into the podium vehicle here for a moment. But yeah, podium vehicle for this week, you'll be, if you have the trade price for the vehicle, you'll save $3,550,000. So in terms of value, it's kind of up there with the, with the Formula 1 car they had on the podium, like, a few weeks or so back or whatever. It's kind of in terms of that kind of value. And yeah, this is a value you save if you have the trade price. It will save even more value if you have not one for the trade price. Which it would probably save you like 4 million more so. But yeah, this is definitely one of the best podium vehicles that they've offered for sure so far. Of course, it's literally the frickin' DeLorean from not Fast and Furious or whatever. I don't know where that one came from. Fucking goddamn, I'm trying to think of what it's fucking called, which is very obvious, but I can't think of it for some reason. Oh yeah, Back to the fucking Future and shit, goddamn it. I don't know how it took me so long to think of that, but whatever. But yeah. On this vehicle, you can get machine guns and missiles. You can actually have both of them, unlike with the oppressors, where you have to choose like one weapon or the other. So yeah, machine guns. I don't think it has pea shooter like machine guns. There's some machine guns in the game that are just really terrible, even against civilian vehicles. But this one should have some of the more like decent machine guns in the game. But obviously they're not explosive or anything. So the machine guns are a nice like secondary option for when you run out of your missiles, of course, but obviously you can just simply call it in. Because obviously those aren't going to be necessarily very beneficial unless you're not trying to destroy a vehicle or something, and the driver of a vehicle or something. For like certain contact missions or something, it could be useful in that regard. And this thing also has 30 of the best tracking homing missiles as well. So yeah, this is one of the couple to few vehicles in the game that have the #1 like best homing missiles in the game. There's of course a lot of other vehicles in the game that have nowhere near the good tracking on their homing missiles like the Luxo does. And yeah, this vehicle also flies as well, so it's one of the most versatile, if not the most versatile vehicle with the best tracking missiles in the game. And this is also a pretty decent option, most definitely, for fighting back against Suppressor Mark IIs that might grief you. So yeah, this is good for defending yourself against Suppressor Mark IIs, I would definitely say as well, which would probably definitely be the most cancerous vehicle in the game. As much as I use it for good, a bunch of other people in this game abuse the shit out of it, of course. That's the kind of nature of the game, I suppose. But yeah. This thing also flies, of course, as well. However, it is really slow when it comes to flying, I would say, over driving. Unless you don't, like, put your, like, wings up all the way or whatever. Like, you can partially do those wings and you'll definitely go much faster, I would say. And this is also really good for dodging missiles, as I was kind of explaining earlier. So yeah, this vehicle is going to be an absolute beast, I would say, for contact missions, VIP work, all that kind of stuff. Of course, you can't use it in heists, but for what you can use this in, it's very amazing. Though there's absolutely no denying that there's way better vehicles for grinding, I would say, than this even. But still, it's still a very good grinding vehicle, nevertheless. But yeah, this is also really good at dodging missiles, of course, because you can disable the flight mode, and it will allow you to basically rotate the vehicle very fast in the air. I think there's also a sweet spot underneath the Deluxo as well, that if a missile hits it, it doesn't blow you up as well for some reason. Might have to do with like how its hitboxes work or something. So it's kind of good. So it's definitely very good for like offensive capability, or for attacking things, of course. I mean, and it kind of has some very seldom like defensive capabilities as well, which are pretty interesting. Of course, this thing does blow up in one like RPG, whether it's a homing one or not, and whether you're inside of it or not. I believe it has universal armor. It doesn't have different armor whether you're inside of it or not. But yeah, with all that I said, it is definitely a very great vehicle. Like, obviously it has its flaws, but then again, pretty much every vehicle has some kind of flaw. This one has a lot more pros, I would say, than cons for sure. Definitely one you would be very wise in trying to spin the wheel for. Whether you want to get it legitimately through the wheel, or if you just want to cheese it and glitch it, of course. Or of course, most people probably already have one, but still, you know, going over this for people who do not, and who might not be the most informed with the game. That's mainly who these streams are for, of course. So I'm trying to find a regular time trial with all my blips on the map. I know I can disable them, but there's kind of a good reason for why I don't. Damn, where's that regular fucking time trial, man? You know what, actually, let me go premium race first. Premium race for this week, at least right now, the premium race for this week is cutting corners for the super class. The Emerist Krieger S80RR, I believe, is another good option. All three of those are from the Diamond Casino and Resort DLC, by the way. The only supercar of the Diamond Casino Heist DLC is not very competitive, by the way. So don't even bother with the Furia, aka the latest supercar. But yeah, basically, 3 of the supercars from the Diamond Casino Resort DLC and then way back in gun running with the Wagner are going to be your top few choices for the superclass. At least for lap time. But yeah, I believe cutting corners is a very, like, lap time heavy race. I believe Bruffy 1322 races on a modified version of cutting corners that he himself has made for like the creator or something. But of course he probably has his own like props and stuff that helps like test the vehicles even further. But yeah, I don't think he would race on cutting corners on every single like lap time video he does if it weren't for... Yeah, I don't think he would race on cutting corners like on every single one of his lap time videos if it weren't like a good test for lap time. So for this one in particular, you'll probably really want to focus on lap time, not to mention of course it's in the city, not on like a highway or something, where top speed would definitely be king. So yeah, top 2 options would be the Emerson and the Krieger, which were both podium vehicles before. And then there's also the S80RR or the Wagner, like I said, if you have those. I believe that's the top 4, essentially, of raceable vehicles, and not including rocket-powered ones, of course, since you can't really use those. So I don't know if that's for the whole week, but I think they typically do like 2 to 3, I believe, throughout the whole event week. So yesterday might have been a different premium race, today might be a different one compared to yesterday. Because back when they went in details on their premium races on the newswire, they kind of mentioned like 2 to 3, I believe. But they don't really go in details on those in newswires anymore. But at least for today, it's cutting corners. Or for now, at least. If the tunables have not changed. Damn it, though. Where's that regular time trial? Damn it. Like I said, I have a good reason for having my blips on here like crazy, but yeah, I just need to find it. Oh, here it is. Cypress Flats is the time trial. And yeah, for this time trial, I'm not entirely too sure like what kind of vehicle would be best for it. But for pretty much any time trial, your best bet would probably be a motorcycle or a supercar, of course. I already mentioned the top few options for supercars for the sake of the premium race. But the best few options for motorcycles are number 1 for sure, the Shotaro. Keep in mind, as of the Diamond Casino and Resort DLC, since they doubled the payouts, you can no longer use rocket-powered vehicles. So I'm not including any of those in the list, since they're no longer usable in time trials. But yeah, for raceable options for motorcycles, best few options would be the Shotaro. And I believe for the best burst of speed, you can push forward or backwards on the stick for the Shotaro, which I believe might be the only case of that. So, in that sense, it's kind of the best option. Of course, it's also the best in lap time and top speed, I would assume as well. And then also corners like a beast for the Shotaro, so it's definitely a very solid option. In fact, I did find a way to complete last week's time trial, which was like triple money. Or unless if it was the week before, I did find a good way to do that one. So yes, I did beat that off stream. And then after the Shotaro would be the Hakuchou Drag for the next best option. I would assume Hakuchou Drag would accelerate a slight bit more in top speed, but it should be very good and if not like in the same position for a lap time as well. Hakuchou Drag is also one of the 2 motorcycles where you have to like lean forward with the stick for the burst of speed. Since you can't really wheelie with it, and it is a drag motorcycle, so that might have to do with it, of course. The other one that works like that is Nightblade, for those who are curious. But I don't think that's necessarily a very competitive motorcycle. And then, if you don't want to spend like around $1 million to $2 million for a motorcycle, you can still use the Body 801 or the Akuma. Those are very affordable motorcycles, being within like the $10,000, maybe even less than $10,000 range. Those are still 3rd and 4th place, respectively. I'm pretty sure. I think Body 801 comes 3rd, and Akuma comes 4th. So yeah, those are going to be the top like 4 options, and then for Body 801 and the Akuma, I believe you have to wheelie or go back with, or push back with the stick in order to get the burst of speed, or be able to go the fastest possible. So those are the few best options for motorcycles, if you want to use that for a time trial, which would definitely be the most viable option for, I would say, any time trial. Especially with rocket-powered vehicles no longer being usable, or just about any time trial at least. And RC Bandito time trial this week is a little Soul Park. I have not made a time trial guide in the longest time, so I have not done one on this yet. Last time trial I did do a guide on was last week's time trial, which was Triple Money RP last week, which was the La Fuente Blanca. I haven't made a guide on those since honestly they're kind of boring to make. It's kind of hard to think of what to say and whatnot on those, and have it make sense to most people that probably would watch it. But still, I might be going back into making those after I do my vehicle review and guide on the Paragon R and Paragon R Armored, which, by the way, I only have a couple sections of audio to still do, and I still gotta make my pros and cons of this. That thing's almost out of production, and about to be uploaded maybe within the next couple days, unless I hold off on it for longer for any reason. So that was it for Premium Race and the time trials. Before I go into money opportunities, though, I should go into. Before I go into discounts, I should go into money opportunities. But yeah, there's stocked versus modes on Triple Money and RP right now. So Air Force 0, 1 through 5 are 3 times money RP. I believe these might be way back from like the flight school update back on last gen. These might have came out back in that time. But yeah, versus modes aren't something that are typically much on double money, let alone triple money RP, so if you kind of want something different to do for GTA, of course, it might be a great idea hopping onto Air Force 0 or any of the other versus modes that are triple money RP. There's also Top Fun 1 through 3 on triple money RP. It seems to heavily revolve around a laser, or at least one of the maps do, or at least 2 of them do. There's actually seem to be the only 2 versus modes on triple money RP. Personally, I wouldn't know which one of those to recommend, since I haven't played those in ages, of course, understandably so, since would there be much of a reason to play outside of money opportunities? And then there is the adversary mode on triple money RP, and that is Stockpile 1 through 7. But yeah, I don't know, but it might be like Capture the Flag or something in there. I personally really like I definitely really like the aerial adversary modes the most, I would say. But yeah, since adversary modes are so different, I don't know how good this one would pay compared to other adversary modes, but I'm sure this is decent for money, at least, in addition to the versus modes. But if you just want to focus on businesses for this week, definitely just focus on the 2 times money RP, or at least 2 times money, not very sure on RP, but most likely RP as well on hangar cell missions, or smuggler run cell missions. I put hangar cell missions or whatever, because I ran out of characters to put what I actually wanted to put on there. Oops, not report job. But yeah, that's it. Just want to make sure I was in the pause menu, and it is. Also, a reminder that you can still log in or whatever the requirement is for the $500,000. Yes, it's just simply for logging into the game. You can still get the $500,000 from last week or a couple weeks ago. I believe it goes, yeah, it goes all this month long. So in addition to the $1 million you can earn through the daily objectives, just simply get on for $500,000. That's still a thing going on right now. And then also completing the 10 daily objectives will get you 1,000 RP apparently, and also a J. Lager beer hat. So you can get a pretty exclusive thing of clothing, a particular beer hat if you also go for the 10 daily objectives. I believe I got an info section about it. Probably notifications, I would think. Lots of job things I've got though. Alright. I did get some sort of notification about it, but I'm not seeing it. But yeah, there's a beer hat you can get from doing the daily objective thing as well, in addition to 1,000 RP. In addition to 1 million GTA money, of course. And then the rest of it should just be discounts. Before I do that, though, I might want to talk about the objectives for a little bit. Since there's some things that are kind of worth knowing about them. So, unlike Red Dead Online, GTA Online, there's only one daily objective that's the same for everybody. I believe all the general daily objectives in Red Dead Online are the same for everyone. Not sure on the role ones, but probably those as well, I would think. So pretty much everything's the same for everyone, I believe, in Red Dead Online's case. But GTA Online, do know only the first one on the way top will be the same for everyone. So if you want a very easy one to knock out for every single day, if for some reason you get a couple hard daily objectives, or a couple really annoying ones for a day, the one on top is bound to be the easiest one, because other people are surely going to be going for that, so they can get the $1 million. So for today, Friday, I believe, since I believe these also update at 11 PM, just like Red Dead Online's, today's daily objectives, the day after the event week started, is participate in a last team standing. Of course, that's very easy, and in fact, that's actually a very popular mode, because there's those sniper and stunter kind of modes, of course. And by the way, you can actually figure out about the daily objectives early. I believe Foxy Snaps, I believe, has like a list of all the daily objectives for the next like week or whatever. So I believe Foxy Snaps figured out the daily objectives for the entire event week early. So you might want to check him out on Twitter, of course, so you can see what other daily objectives are for the event week. I believe I saw one of them is going to be like a heist finale or something. And then another one was something with like VIP worker, something like that. That's another couple easy ones, I would say. And of course, the heist finale one especially would be worth doing, because you'll get tons of money for that as well. Unless you only have to participate in it, even if you get a sucky team or something, then that's even better. And then for me, I have modified vehicle and MOC. So of course you can just simply change a respray, and that one's very easy. However, it could be kind of an annoying one as well, since why would you want to do that? if you pretty much already have everything modified from gun running or whatever. Not to mention there's other ways of modifying those vehicles, but still, for certain people might be very easy, but kind of unnecessary at the same time. But for other people, obviously, if they don't have all the gun running vehicles, it could be quite worth their time. And personally for me, I've so mesh. And also, I don't know if you can get these kind of ones if you don't have a MLC or like meth business. But if not, then you might want to be worried that you might get some that have things involved that you might not have. Not sure if the game checks if you have those or not. But yeah, the top daily objective, if you're going to do at least one each day, keep in mind you'll have to do at least 2 for 3 days. I at least recommend doing one on the way top, because every single person that plays the game for the given day will have the same objectives. So, in a sense, if you get unlucky and get 2 hard daily objectives, if there are any, I think in the previous DLC they made the daily objectives a lot more feasible. However, though, so it shouldn't be much of a problem. If you do get hard ones by any chance, the one on top's definitely the way to go. So aside from that, there's not really much to mention, I would say. Because it's not like Red Dead Online where every single daily objective, of course, is the same for everyone, so I don't want to go in much more detail than I already have. But yeah, it's pretty much the strategy, I would say. I'll talk about the Smuggler Run cell missions for a moment as well. So, Smuggler Run cell missions. Sadly, the Smuggler Run business is not known to be a very good money opportunity. In fact, I think at one time it was a very good money opportunity, but I believe Rockstar did end up nerfing the pay of the Smuggler Run cell missions. Apparently they did end up nerfing that, so sadly it's nowhere near as good as it used to be. I believe in normal money it goes up to 850,000 at max, not including any like bonuses or anything. So I believe without any bonuses you'll make 1.7 mil at max, even on double money. So yeah, sadly you can easily go without doing 2 times money RP Smuggler Run cell missions. But if you do those, there is a kind of good strategy, I would say. Of course, there's a vehicle in the game called the Yakula, of course, which has a stealth mode. Of course, if you really want to, you can look up a way to like get solo public lobbies in your like console that you play on, of course, or PC even. I believe PS4 has the hardest method for solo sessions. I believe it involves like I believe it involves a minimum or maximum transmission unit or some shit like that. Which, I don't know if it can mess up your internet or something like that. So, you do kind of have to finick around with that for PS4. I believe Xbox One, the method for solo public lobbies is like mat type testing or whatever. That one's really easy, and so it's PCs. I believe you just go through Task Manager and like suspend the application for PC. So that's basically a couple ways for each platform on how to like get solo public lobbies. And obviously I'm not including last gen in that. And why would you need that in last gen, considering that there's no businesses in the last generation? But yeah, for current generation, that's basically, I'm pretty sure, all the methods for getting solo public lobbies, if that's what you want for when you do hangar stuff. However, if you don't want to do that, you can easily use an Yakula. The The Akula, of course, is a stealth chopper. So of course you can just easily turn on the stealth mode of the Akula, and then you can collect your air freight and go on about your day. Of course, in order to use the weaponry on it, you're going to have to go out of stealth mode, but obviously as soon as you get your packages, you can easily go into stealth mode, and it will be very simple in order to get your air freight safely to your hangar. In fact, I would say it's highly doable to be able to actually use your Akula for essentially any stealth mission. Just about any stealth mission in the game is pretty doable, I would say, with the Akula. Might be a couple exceptions, and I'm only considering if you're playing solo. I don't know if there's any, modes, or not modes, but if there's any, sourcing missions that can be a big pain. But yeah. And also, if a source mission does require you to use a certain vehicle, just blow it up, and you can just use whatever vehicle you want. Or at least for the most part. And that's just for source missions. Obviously, you don't do that for stall missions, because you have to use the vehicle that the game wants you to stall with. But yeah, for sourcing missions, if you want to use your own vehicle, just simply blow up a vehicle if it ends up being required for any reason. And you can easily just go on about your day with your Akula. It's essentially the best way to go about the smuggler run business for sourcing, I would say. And also, for those in an MC, don't bother having 8 people. You only need 4 people, whether you're VIP or CO, as the maximum you can source at one time in a single mission is 4 crates. So doing that 12.5 times will get you to 50 crates, which is the maximum. Though do keep in mind you might want to stay to one source type as well when it comes to the cargo you want to source, if you want extra money as well. Because I think the 1.7 I mentioned, you do have to stick to one sourcing type, otherwise you won't get 1.7 mil, unless that's a bonus in addition to 1.7 mil. But yeah, the first free things of cargo on the top left or whatever are the ones that give you the most money, by the way. That's some tips, of course, on air freight business for those who might want to do that for double an ERP. So yeah, I think I explained enough of the business. I'll go into the discounts and the stream from there. So the first bunch of discounts is going to be all about the hangar, of course, since you need one to do the air freight business. That's basically why they would be doing that right now. But yeah. By the way, I don't know if they're doing any increased, percents off or anything for Twitch Prime this week. It might be the same percents off for every single person, whether they have Twitch Prime or not. But of course, there's still the exclusive Twitch Prime discounts from last week, which was the Arena ZR380 and then the Cerberus. So the 2 discounts for Twitch Prime exclusivity, of course, is the ZR380 and the Cerberus whatever, truck whatever. Those 2 arena ready vehicles are 75% off, just like last week, so that did not change at all. But yeah, there's 60% off hangars, hangar modifications, and add-ons. So I'll check to see if it includes everything. I would assume it would include a workshop and whatnot as well. So of course there's all the nice aesthetic stuff you can get on discount. And it should also include the hangar workshop for modifying your personal aircrafts. And yes, it does indeed. So right now you can actually get Force Inc. Kudo hangar for like a little over $2 million, which isn't too bad. And that might be for everyone, not just Twitch Prime, since I don't think they're doing increased discounts at all for Twitch Prime, just to do exclusive discounts, I think. So yeah, that's all the property discounts for this week, is basically everything with the hangar is 60% off. And then it seems there's only 2 websites aside for the Arena Wars site, which has 2 Twitch Prime exclusive discounts from the previous week that are still going on, which are 75% off of the 2 vehicles I previously mentioned. But yeah, they're both right here for the Legendary Motorsport discounts. So the Principe Devastate 8 is on a 50% off discount. In fact, both of these discounts are 50% off. And yes, they're 50% off for me as well, so they're not doing any increased discounts of like an extra 10% or whatever like they usually do. Or like they once did before. A lot of times. But yeah, obviously with supercars, it's mainly personal preference if it's going to be worth it to you or not. But yeah, I think Principe Devastate 8 is still in like the top 10 or something like that, so it's still probably a quite viable competitive vehicle. Like obviously there's going to be quite a bit of competitive stuff that's much better in the Devastate 8. But if for some reason you don't have a Wagner or Emrys Krieger or S80RR for like the top 4 like raceable options, Devastate 8 shouldn't be like way off those like other supercars are. And also I'm not sure if these sell. I'm not sure if this sells in lap time and top speed. But yeah, it should be pretty viable still, I'm pretty sure. And then the Schlagen GT is actually a sports car. And I believe this is like in the top 15, top 20, I believe, for a lap time, so it's not the best. And I'm not entirely sure on top speed. I did watch something about like all the sports cars on their lap time and top speed like a few days ago, but I don't remember it really. But yeah, there is something very interesting about the Schlagen GT though. And if you know anything about like a lot of the very recent vehicles within the past couple years with this game, there's these things called advanced handling flags, which basically make the vehicles handle different than they should, mostly in negative ways. But yeah, the Schlagen GT does not have those advanced handling flags. So it's like on rare vehicles anymore these days that don't have like botched up handling compared to what they should have. I'm not the most informed on advanced handling flags, but of course refer to roughly 1322 if you want to know what those are all about. But the Schlagen GT is one of those very rare vehicles these days that do not have those. So that might be quite the incentive to get the Schlagen GT, even if it's not a very viable vehicle for racing. That's basically my opinion on those 2 vehicles. Obviously, it's mainly personal preference for supercars and sport cars and stuff like that. So I don't really go into much detail with them unless they're like weaponized or something, and they actually have an impact on the game besides for racing. And also the Hijack Chameleon is not actually on discount, it's just glitched up at the moment. And then the last couple vehicle discounts are both on worse stock cash and carry. And they're both pretty, like, old vehicles from day one of the game, by the way. This one was added to the online as a purchasable vehicle, by the way, in the Smuggler's Run DLC, but it's still a vehicle from day one of the game. But yeah, the P996 Laser, instead of a massive $6.5 million price, it's $2,600,000. Since it is a 60% off discount. That's probably one of the cheapest prices you'll ever be able to get the P996 Laser. So if you've always wanted one for any reason, now might be a good time to jump onto the P996 Laser. But because you can already get this vehicle in Fort Zancudo, especially if you have a hangar in Fort Zancudo, which are also on discount for 60% off this event week, as long as you have a hangar in Fort Zancudo, there's not really much of a reason, honestly, to go for a P996 Laser. Like, yeah, if you buy one, of course, and have one in your hangar, you can spawn it, like, in different locations, which is quite convenient. But still, as long as you don't mind taking a trip to Fort Zancudo for your P996 Laser, there's not really a reason to buy one. And for customization, you can only really respray a P996 Laser. There's no, like, weapon modifications or anything like with newer aircrafts, of course. Just like pretty much all the other day one aircraft, there's no weapon modifications on it. If you do customize it in your hangar, it's just a simple respray like most vehicles from like launch and the couple of few years after, till the Smuggler's Run DLC came out, of course. So yeah, while it's on a massive discount, it's really still not worth it, and I don't think it ever will be worth it, personally, unless they add any sort of, like, actual modifications, not just a respray and the, like, convenience of spawning it in more locations. And also, of course, the Hydra is a lot more feature-packed as well, having VTOL capabilities, allowing it to be like a helicopter and a jet. So really, why would you want a P996 Laser over a Hydra, even with this massive discount? But yeah, of course it has the explosive cannons, which is one of the couple vehicles with like the best explosive cannons in the game, just like the Hydra and like the Savage, for example. So it has like top tier explosive cannons, which is nice, but still, like I said, you're only really getting the convenience of spawning it for the most part. And you can get this vehicle literally in Fort Zancudo. And then it has missiles, but they have a cooldown. And they're not, like, good missiles either. They're typical, like, buzzard lock-on missiles. So you're not pretty much guaranteed to hit everything you, like, use your rockets on. By the way, the Insurgent pickup is not actually on discount, it's just a glitched up discount at the moment. So no, it's not on discount. However, the Buzzard Attack Chopper is on discount, even though the Buzzard Attack Chopper discount is glitched up at the moment, it is indeed on discount. But yeah, Buzzard Attack Chopper is not going to be 60% off, it's going to be 50% off, just like the Legendary Motorsport vehicle discounts. Only 60% off vehicle discount for this week is the Laser. But yeah, the Buzzard Attack Chopper is half off.
And I've narrowed the dad down to 2 guys.
So it makes it $875,000, I'm pretty sure, which is very good. However, of course, if you can see my price, it was once offered as a free, like, holiday vehicle for the Buzzard Attack Chopper. So yeah, there was a day where you could get this vehicle for free, so technically, in a sense, that makes it highly not worth it. And also, just like the Laser, you can find them spawned throughout the map, of course, depending on your rank. If you're a really low rank, it depends on your rank, but pretty much if you're in the rank like 100 range, rank 120 range, and up, you'll basically, for sure, find these if you give it enough time. In fact, there's a pretty much almost guaranteed spawn for the Buzzard Attack Chopper as well, which is at like the Meriwether docks in addition to the Cargo Bob. Those are like the only 2 vehicles that spawn there. And both of those are very good for VIP works and like import-export, stuff like that. So it's not necessarily the biggest like reason. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a big incentive to even buy it for the sake of spawning it for your VIP when there's an almost guaranteed spawn. As long as you're careful with it, of course, you're probably not going to get it heavily damaged as long as you're good at flying it and whatnot. So yeah, technically this is another vehicle you can simply find on the map. Though yeah, unlike the Laser, you can literally spawn a Buzzard Attack Chopper by your feet if you're a CEO. Or a VIP even, I think, can do that if you don't own a CEO office. So yeah, it's already one of the most useful grinding vehicles, I would say, in the game, purely because you can spawn a vehicle as good as this right next to your feet. But yeah, of course its weaponry, it has regular machine guns. So it's not going to have the good explosive cannons like the Laser does, of course. And the machine guns aren't really going to be good on the Buzzard. There's a lot better machine gun options, and regular machine guns in general just aren't very good, I would say. Unless they're like remotely controlled and shit like that. Such as like on the weaponized Tampa, for example. So yeah, machine guns aren't going to do you well. And the Buzzard, its missiles, of course, are like the most regular missiles in the game, just like the Laser. You can shoot like 2 in like every couple of seconds or whatever, and then there's like a couple second cooldown. So you won't just be able to spam missiles like you can with a bunch of other, like, much more modern vehicles in the game. And also, they have the worst tracking in the game, of course. They're the most regular missiles in the game. But of course, it's still pretty viable, of course, especially given it has unlimited missiles. But like I said, you can literally, like, find an almost guaranteed Buzzard Attack Chopper spawn. In fact, I'll show off the exact location on the map. Also, I'm not sure why I entirely talked about it so much, but I do have a review and guide on the Buzzard Attack Chopper. So if you want more details than what I've provided on here, you can refer to that, or you can refer to another person's Buzzard review. So I'm sure there are some out there. But yeah, right here in the Meriwether dock area here, This location has a helipad that spawns either a buzzer attack chopper or a cargo bob. You'll never see any other helicopters from my personal experience going there. So you're almost guaranteed a buzzard if you just keep going back and forth to the middle of our docks for whenever you might need one. But still, like I said, the convenience of spawning it next to your feet as a CO was very big. So regardless of that circumstance, it's still a very worthwhile investment, especially at 50% off. But yeah, that's pretty much it I have to mention about the discounts. I think I'll talk a little about I'll talk a little bit about the DualSense controller, by the way. And also, I almost forgot to mention, but the Alien Survivals and the peyote plants are in the game right now until April 13th, I think. So basically, once this event weekends, or like a couple days like before the event weekends, you can use peyote plants again, which I did make a whole like location, like a live stream where I show off all the locations. I do have live streams on the peyote plants. But of course, it's much better to go to like GTA series videos or something, and just go to tacos for whatever peyote plants you need. And yeah, just confirmation, of course. They did indeed bring back the Alien Survivals. But I personally would say it's not really worth doing the Alien Survivals. I definitely think the new Survivals with the infinite wave options are definitely the best options for Survivals. Old Survivals, of course, like Boneyard, and I believe this one as well, those don't have the infinite wave option, so those are very outdated, and there's not really much of a reason to play them anymore. Of course, any with the infinite wave option of the regular, like newer survivals, those are very worth going for, and basically all the new survivals from like last year, not from like the game's launch. This one though is kind of just a reskin, like regular survival. There might be the option for infinite waves, which is nice, but you are restricted to the alien weaponry as well. And the Stab City survival, this one here, there's a very easy method for getting high up in the waves, just by simply going in like a dumpster or whatever. I don't say remove the dumpster for any reason. Doubt they would have, but yeah. It's a very easy method for getting high up in waves on the Stab City survivals and also the nuclear style survivals. I don't think any of these have like any good hiding spots though. Not that I know of at least. But if you can find a really good hiding spot, this might actually be more worth it in survivals. Because I don't think the alien weapons you use on this affect your alien weapon ammo when it comes to the actual free mode. But yeah, talking about the DualSense controller, a few days ago they revealed the DualSense controller for the PS5. And my thoughts on it, honestly, I'll give some quick thoughts on it. The inclusion of a microphone definitely seems very interesting. Though it could be awkward as well. To give credit to Sony though, I think they still mention it's best to still have headsets rather than use the actual like microphone on the DualSense controller that's coming out. Of course, if you have no better option, the DualSense controller will actually have a microphone on it, which is quite exciting. And I don't think they've really done microphones on controllers aside from like Nintendo, of course, with the like Wii U gamepad, the 3DS, and like the DS. So it's kind of the first time a microphone, I believe, is happening on like a traditional console controller, I would say. But still, if if you don't want to use it for like actual games where you'll be button mashing and people might possibly hear your button mashing, of course, which is one of the biggest concerns with it. And personally, I would recommend it for video editing if you edit on the PS4, for example. It's a video editor. It could be good for video editing if they let you like talk into it for like text on like the screen or something. But of course, there's the new create button as well. I don't know why they would change the share button to the create button. But yeah, sounds like there's definitely going to be some quite new creative kind of aspects with the PS5, which I'm very excited to hear about for when they talk about that in more details. And then, big change to the light bar as well, I believe, is the last kind of thing I really care to mention. Of course, the light bar on the PS4 controller, I believe, is highly known for draining the battery really quick. I believe that's kind of the biggest issue with the DualShock 4 for most people. Is the battery gets drained really quick off of the light bar. Won't be surprised if that's even the case, even if you dim it as much as possible through the settings. But yeah, it seems the light bar is just going to be like stripes like around the like touchpad or whatever, which is definitely quite a good change. I have not yet done a microphone test yet, so I'll do that right now. It's good. Talk more about the Sun's controller was an idiot, so I only a couple of minutes of shit. But yeah, apologies. But yeah, apologies for going silent for a couple minutes there, but like, fucking asshole, the fucking big turd of a fucking rubber gun, of course. Of course, fucking bathroom has to be attached between our two fucking rooms or whatever. Fuck. But yeah. As I left off with on the DualSense controller, they did make a good change probably to the light bar. It's no longer like a big thing of a light like it is on the PS4. It's DualShock 4, of course. It's basically a couple of stripes around the touchpad, actually, which means there's a lot less like lighting, so it should be better for battery life. It's definitely quite nice. Also, there's one more thing I want to mention about it. I think I mentioned that was going to be it. But apparently the controller is two-toned as well. Like, it's very white, but it's also slightly black as well in the image they showed off. There's actually probably one more thing I mentioned about it. But yeah, I wonder if that means if the console itself will be two-toned, because typically, of course, the controller is a great representation of what the actual system is going to look like color-wise. But it seems the actual console will also most likely be two-toned. And then last thing I want to mention actually is, to be honest, I'm really glad they're going away from the DualShock in a sense. Like, they've done the DualShock literally since the first original PlayStation, of course. So, them finally doing something new and different in like 25 years or whatever, since the original fucking PlayStation, that's very big. Since Sony, I'm pretty sure, was known for having the most, like, simple, like, controller for the longest time. Like, obviously, not to mention, though, that their system's still called the PS5, so they're still a simple system name. It's definitely cool to see it going a different direction with their controller. Though I definitely would not mind a DualShock 5 as like a secondary like controller option, not necessarily like the main controller. Of course, for example, Nintendo is known for their Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons, and then they also have the Switch Pro controller and whatnot. And Microsoft does their Elite controllers. Sony doesn't really do any sort of like Elite controllers or much of any extra controllers much these days, I feel. So if they want to do a secondary controller kind of thing, it would be cool for them to do a DualShock 5 just for the nostalgia. But for a mainline controller, I'm glad they're going away from DualShock to DualSense. So far, at least. So to be fair, with the two-tone design, I'm not really feeling it much, to be honest. Kind of like the more like one color design of the DualShock control, of course. Since the original PlayStation all the way to the PS4. And obviously there's probably been two-tone like systems and shit before, but those are probably just limited editions. Talking more about mainline controller, like with the DualSense, of course, like I've mentioned. I might make a video of some kind, like a different kind of video, talking about next-gen stuff. If I want to try some kind of new thing with the main channel. But yeah, I've been streaming this longer than I should have probably, but part of that was because I wanted to talk about the DualSense controller, of course. Which I might make a video on that and other things, if I want to do some different kind of video for the main channel. But yeah, that's not going to be it for a stream. Next stream is most likely going to be another Red Dead Online Event Week stream, for when the next one comes out. Unless I decide to finally do an extra stream. But I haven't been big on doing those for a while, so most likely will probably be my next Red Dead Online Event Week stream. Since I've hella been playing like other games, of course, especially with all the bullshit going on in the world right now. So yeah, that will finally be it for a stream. Hope you enjoyed.